Don't just live for tomorrow, or just live in yesterday. Just be glad for all you have that's in today. And though you've come through many obstacles.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to Castlevania Season 4, Episode 4. So, last time we had a lot of nuanced character work with Isaac, with Morana and Striga, and it's really starting to build up this continuing final season. But it also feels like it's just taking its time. I'm just wondering, like, when is anything going to actually happen? There's only like 10 episodes, right? So it's like they've got to get on this. They have to resolve all of this shit. With Carmilla and her group, they have to resolve whatever's going to be happening in Targoviste with those other two vampires who I can't remember the names of. And Alucard hasn't even reunited with Trevor and Sypha. And there's just so much still to go with, to work with, and it's just, I feel like they haven't really started on any of that. Nothing's really felt like it's kicked off, you know what I mean? But I guess we'll see how it goes. We're almost halfway through the season, and again, it just still feels like all build up. And it's like, I feel like that's a notable just issue with a lot of these short series that are on Netflix. It's like, oh, we have 10 episodes, so let's just wait until like the last couple to actually do anything. Everything else is just build up until that. And it's like the build up is not bad, but it gets to a point where it's just like, we want to actually see shit going down, especially in a series like this. We want to see shit going down, and when this is the final season, not counting the sequel series that's going to be happening, when this is the final season, you want that resolution. You want it to connect a little better and to complete a little quicker, or at least to get working on that. But when it just keeps kind of like dragging its feet, it's a little annoying. It's really my only issue with this right now, because what's actually been happening has been fine. I've been enjoying the actual content. It's just, outside of that, I just wish it would actually progress a little quicker, progress a little more. But like I said, we'll see how it goes as it goes. So we're just going to get this started, hope for the best, see what we have in store for episode 4. So, when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episode. So, that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So, we have a really interesting parallel here. We have a vampire, well, half vampire, who is more human than most. And we have a human who has forsaken his humanity for the sake of his loved one. It's a really interesting parallel here. But let's talk about, like, everything. So, Saint-Germain is back. After Alucard helps save this village from some night creatures attacking, we see the return of Saint Germain, um, as he meets Alucard for the first time. He's already met Trevor and Sypha, but now he meets Alucard as well. And it's not been said about that connection yet. I wonder if and when that will come up. So we finally find out what happened to him after he was trapped in the Infinite Corridor at the end of last season. He searched around for his love, trying to find any semblance of her and the dimension he saw her in before. He finally finds the dimension, but she's not there, and instead there is an alchemist there who starts to talk to Saint Germain about just alchemy theory and stuff. And basically, she tells him that if he wants to accomplish his goal, he has to be willing to give up everything, that he has to sacrifice even his morals and ethics to do so. She gives him this key that will allow him to control and travel the Infinite Corridor at will. But she will not tell him where it is that his love went to. So he travels back to our dimension, I guess you could call it, and starts doing some more studying. And during his studies, he ends up killing someone he was trying to get information from. And we see kind of his descent into madness. He's kind of losing his mind, kind of going crazy, and definitely listening to what this alchemist lady said and sacrificing his morals in order to accomplish his goal. But then we see that he's contacted at some point by Varney. And based on what we've seen, it's pretty clear that he has agreed to work with Varney. Where others have denied that request, he has agreed. And so we see him talking with this other vampire about the plan to have the night creatures attack this town that Alucard and him are currently in. And so we see that these night creature attacks were his doing. We don't know why, we don't know how this helps his goal, but we do know that this was his doing and that all these people who have died is because of him. But as we saw when he entered the village, he kind of made peace with that, saying that all these people had the chance to live, but I haven't. And it's really interesting because Saint Germain was never like a 100% good guy. He always had issues in last season as well. But he definitely had a code of ethics. He definitely had a moral compass that steered him in the right directions. However, he's so invested in bringing his love back, in saving her, which fair enough, but he's so invested that he's willing to throw away his morals, that he's willing to throw away his ethics, he's willing to just do literally whatever it takes. And I don't know if she would necessarily agree to that. I mean, we don't know a lot about her from all we've seen of her. She's pretty badass, pretty strong, and well-read and whatnot, but we don't actually know a lot about her outside of that. Like, we've never even heard her speak. So it's hard to say if she would approve of this or not. But now this just throws another wrench into the cogs. On top of everything else we've already had to close out in terms of the story and character arcs and whatnot this season. Now we're throwing this into the fire as well. It's like, how the hell are we supposed to have closure with all of this. I believe I said it last time, but there might be like one or two plot points that don't receive full closure, and that's just in regards to the fact that um, we are getting a sequel series. Oh, excuse me. We are. It's in regards to the fact that we're getting a sequel series, and because of that, some things might possibly carry over. It's like, okay, I can live with that, but there's so much here, and it's like there's certain things that I would probably wager to say will not be carrying over, and the Saint Germain stuff is one of them. It's just like there's so much to wrap up now, and I'm really worried that it's not going to give a satisfying conclusion to everything it needs to. I don't know. We did get to see a little bit of Trevor and Cypher this episode about them just talking about, well, talking things out and all. Um, Not much in regards to them though. This episode was definitely more focused on Alucard and Saint Germain, mostly Saint Germain actually, but still. Um, yeah, it's just a really interesting turn of character for him, and I'm definitely interested to see where this goes. So tell me in the comments below, what did you think of this episode of Castlevania? And for now, I'm Connie and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.